Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and today I am here to talk about Gamechangers. So, I'm sure some of you who regularly watch my deck techs may have noticed something. It is not very often that I put Gamechangers into my decks, unless I'm doing a very high budget deck where I'm pushing the power to the maximum. I generally avoid Gamechangers in my decks that I build, right? And there's a couple reasons for this, but I'm going to talk about the primary one. The primary one first is their cost. So I had done a poll, and I can throw it back up here on screen. I had done a poll about what budget most of my players, or most of the players that watch my content, go for when they make a commander deck, and most of them were from $25 to like $500. Actually, I think it was cheaper than that. I think it was $25 to $300. Yeah, and so when you have cards like Gaia's Cradle here, we'll look. When you have Gaia's Cradle, which is sitting at $1,000 for one, or Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, which is sitting at $1,600. Those are the high-end extremes. Those are unobtainable for a lot of players. And I'm going to make an argument here. A good argument, I think. I would like to believe it's a good argument. I don't think that Gamechangers are necessary for you to build a bracket 3, bracket 4 deck. I don't. I have plenty of decks that can hang at bracket 3 or bracket 4 without having Gamechangers in them. One of those, for example, is my Azusa. My Azusa deck, I have won plenty of bracket 4 games with. I almost even won, I don't have a CEDH deck, so I'm like, this is the fastest one I have. I almost won a CEDH game in a pod, just playing a friendly CEDH game with my Azusa deck, running no Gamechangers. And so we look at these Gamechangers here, and honestly, I like the concept of Gamechangers. Now, I'm going to say I don't have any problems with there being things called Gamechangers. I really don't. I think that Gamechangers are a great way to identify cards that should not be showing up in low bracket games. Now, where the problem comes in is that like labeling something a Gamechanger essentially marks it for an automatic price increase. Hold up, one second. What in the hell is going on with this art? What is this? Oh, it's Field of the Dead. You'd never tell by just looking at it. But it marks a lot of these cards to have a price premium to them. Now, I'm not saying all, because there are some that are cheap, but a lot of these cards have a price premium to them because they're Gamechangers and therefore popular when people want to power up their deck and be able to get in there. And a lot of times Gamechangers put a target on you where you're going to get beat down in a pod, right? You play a Notion Thief, someone's coming for your head because they want to be able to draw their cards. You play a Drannith Magistrate, you best believe I'm going to beat you down until it's dead or until you're dead. Things like crop rotation do fly under the radar, I will say that. Until you use it to get out your Gaia's Cradle, or you use it to get out your Field of the Dead, right? But the problem with Gamechangers is that most of the time, you're not gonna, you are not going to have a lot of folks, especially in today's current economic climate, who are going to be able to afford a lot of these, right? Like, we look at our big ones up here, like Mox Diamond, right? That's sitting at $730. We have Lion's Eye Diamond sitting at $500. Grim Monolith, which is a mana rock. Yes. You can turn it into infinite mana a whole bunch of different ways. But $394. Yeah, if you play the gold bordered cards, if your friends allow that, you can get one for cheap. But, I mean, like Sarah's Sanctum, $331. This one's downright affordable compared to the Gaia's Cradle, to be honest with you. Survival of the Fittest sitting here at $240, right? And one of the big things that I am always a very strong proponent of is affordability in Magic. So I'm here to tell you that you can build strong, fun, consistent, and powerful decks without running a single game changer. I've done it in paper. I build my lists most of the time specifically to avoid game changers. There are, like, when I want to build a bracket 3 deck, then those are in there. I will put 3 in there, and they're usually 3 that help synergize with it, right? A side note is I do also avoid tutors because I think that you can build a consistent deck without having them. And a lot of the most powerful tutors, and when I say tutors, I do mean like the demonic tutors, the vampiric tutors, like those sort of things, right? The imperial seals. I don't care about the green black sacrifice a creature, search for a creature tutor is from Lord of the Rings. I forgot what it's called now, but I do run it in one of my decks. I'm talking about the high-powered tutors. You don't have to run them and able to have a powerful, strong, consistent deck. And, it's kind of part of my deck philosophy. Call me like a magic boomer. Call me some sort of like oddball, or if it's, not the most optimal builds. But like I'm trying, when I build a deck, right, we're gonna go here because I just did this one, right? So like this was a viewer request deck. We got Rigo here, right? I just recorded this deck tech. This is a viewer request. I tried to keep the budget under $300 because when somebody requests a deck, I don't know what their financial situation is. So unless they specifically say, I want to see how powerful this can be, I try to keep it budget. So $270, right? Now, most of these cards are not super expensive. We go into our instance, right? 3, 5, yeah, nothing big. But then we go over to our game changers. And let's say, we wanted to throw in a humility, since he relies on 1/1s. Humility adds $40 to the deck. All right? So, take out like a $1 card, add 39. We're already over $300 just by adding a single card to the deck, right? Then say, you want a Smothering Tithe, 35. All right, we're up to 330. And then they're like, oh man, I gotta have that T-Pro. I'm pretty sure T-Pro is a game changer, right? Yeah, right here. Add that in there, another 35. So now we're up to 400. Just $400 just to get you to bracket 3's 3 card limit, right? And then yeah, it's just it's hard. There are cards on here that I would love to own, right? Like I do own a Chrome Mox. I do own Ancient Tomb. I do have a Mana Vault. I do have a bunch of One Rings only because I opened a million boxes of Lord of the Rings because I'm financially irresponsible. I own Rhystic Study, Humility, right? But like I don't use these a lot. Grand Arbiter I do have in the deck, but like I don't run Bolas Citadel a lot, even though I have a bunch of those. I don't run Tegrid a lot, even though I have a bunch. It's just I'm here to tell you. This is probably the opposite of what most big content creators are going to tell you is you don't need game changers. You don't need them to make that powerful deck, and don't ever let anyone shame you for not running game changers if you can't afford them. And, I don't pull proxies into the argument because although I'm fine with proxies, I have proxies in one of my decks. Not every store, not every play group is proxy friendly. And so if they are, print it. Print or go burr and print one of these, right? But if you are in a pod or in a store that is not proxy friendly, never let anybody economically shame you for not having the survival of the fittest, for not having the Grim Monolith, right? For not having the Serra Sanctum, the Gaia's Cradle. And there are good options. Yes, they're not best in class. Like for Gaia's Cradles, there's Growing Rites of Itlamok. There's Avendo. And like I said, they're not as efficient. They're not nearly as good. But they also aren't $1,000, right? And so, yeah, I look at, I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek, or like a peek behind the curtain at some of my deck building philosophy when it comes to my deck decks. Because I've had a couple comments of like, hey, this would be really good if you threw these tutors in here, or if you threw these game changers in here. And yeah, it would be good, but the deck would also then creep over $1,000. And when I do those really high budget builds where I'm doing something for fun, I do get regularly called out, like, who is this deck for? This deck is like $2,000. This deck is $1,000. Nobody can afford this. And that's right. I can't afford a $1,000 deck most of the time. My $1,000 decks that I have that are built in paper are mostly because I've been playing the game for a long time and have cards before they got super expensive, right? And some of these game changers are not even that good. This is controversial hot take Weston here. Tegrid is on here because he creates bad feelings, right? Tegrid is not a great card. It costs 5. It's easy to kill. Consecrated Sphinx, yeah, can win you the game, but it also costs 6. So unless it gets cheated into play, you're going to probably drop it on like turn 6 or turn 7, and then it's going to get Swords to Plowshares, Doombladed, murdered, taken out back, and put down like Old Yeller, right? The One Ring is really good. It deserves its hype. I've also killed myself with the One Ring. It's pretty fun. But yeah, just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about these game changers. Kind of wanted to see where people's heads are at. What are your thoughts about game changers, right? Like, do you see them as you must have game changers if you're playing at bracket 4 or bracket 3? Or do you feel a lot like I do, where you can take or leave game changers? Or if you're going to play at bracket 3, you don't have to have 3. You can play one game changer. If you happen to have a One Ring in your collection, you can drop that in there. But you don't have to spend an absurd amount of money. You don't have to spend a grocery trip store amount of money on a Grim Monolith, right? You don't have to spend more than my monthly mortgage on a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. You do not have to spend, $3,000 on a Mishra's Workshop to make your deck good. I promise you. And maybe I can do some more videos talking about my deck building philosophy. If that is something you would like to see, let me know in the comments down below. I can start giving more deck building philosophy, my full thoughts on tutors, which ones you should run, which ones to avoid. When it comes to building, we're going to say building for the working class, right? Building for the average player. Because I do YouTube. I'm a tiny YouTube creator, and yeah, I watch YouTube Magic content and stuff, but I would say I am much closer to the average Magic player than a lot of the giant creators, who curate more of what content they have. Not to insult them, because I love a lot of the large Magic the Gathering content creators. I really do. I love them, adore them. But especially, like, there's some channels I watch almost daily. But, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've rambled on too long. And as always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And please, friends, don't spend $1,600 on a Tabernacle as much as you want to.